One of the most useful features that we received in the latest Quad Cortex Core OS 3.0.0 update is the ability to utilize sidechaining with certain effects blocks. Now, you might ask what this is, and this is the type of feature that a lot of folks, if they don't understand what it does, may overlook it, but there are some really interesting uses for it. Today, I'm going to show you a use case that may not seem obvious to a lot of folks immediately, but may allow us to fine-tune things in a very interesting manner. For anybody who follows my channel and how I build my presets, you'll notice that I have a opto compressor at the end of my chain. And I just like what this does to kind of give a subtle feel change to everything and keep everything kind of glued together and make it a little bit more polished and mix ready. Now, some folks don't like it, and that's fine if you don't want to use it. Normally, I would have used the opto comp, but now that we have the ability to use the opto comp sidechain, I'm going to throw that in here to show you how this can change things up. You'll notice that the difference here is it has this extra source control. Now, basically the sidechaining is going to allow us to do this. If I have the source off, what is happening is my signal is being processed through all the different blocks inside of this particular preset, which is from my REVV double cream collection. It's available at the link below at my website. Give me a follow over on Cortex Cloud at jsadites. But it's processing all of those blocks, basically processing and acting off the tone of the amplifier. Now, what if I wanted the compression to process all of these, but to be triggered by a different sound? So its threshold and ratio and attack and release would be based off of something else, but it would still process all of the elements that come before it. So what I could do is change this to in1. Now you might ask, well, what will that do? Well, I have my guitar plugged into in1. Once my guitar is processed by the amplifier tends to, and especially in the case of an overdriven or distorted sound, it's going to act a bit like a compressor, and it's going to tame some of those transient spikes or transient peaks that we get when we just hit a guitar, the sort of pick attack, the initial pick attack. So the guitar amplifier on a distorted sound especially, and more so as the sound gets more distorted, acts as a compressor in a sense. But there's still something nice about putting something like an opto comp after the fact. The thing is, the compressor is going to behave very different if it was triggering just off the DI'd guitar. So with the sidechaining, we could have it triggered by the DI guitar. So it's going to react to the DI guitar, but it's going to process the sound of the amplifier and everything that comes before it. So if I take this here and put it to off, now let's just see what this does. Okay, very nice tone. This is based off of a Rev Generator 740 amplifier, which is no longer available. These are the neural captures I did. I love these tones, really cool. So I like what that compressor is doing. But one option we have now is to change this to in1 so that the compressor is actually acting off of my DI'd tone, but processing the sound of all of the elements before it. You'll notice this little icon becomes part of the block now. So that's how we know that the sidechaining is on. So now when I hit this, you'll hear a different character to that compressor. The attack, the threshold, the ratios, and the release are all reacting to my DI'd guitar tone before it was processed by the amplifiers, but the compressor is actually processing the tone of the amp. Now, I am actually over compressing here so that we could have a more audible difference between the two different settings. I wouldn't suggest maybe compressing that much in this particular situation, but I wanted you to hear the difference we can get between changing the source on the sidechain compressors. Now, that does not mean one of these is better than the other. What does better really mean? It's really going to be a subjective thing based on the tone we're looking for, based on the outcome we want, and the situation we're in. So this is not me telling you you should or you shouldn't sidechain off of the the direct guitar input. It's more an awareness thing and just letting you know that it's now possible. And maybe changing that setting will allow us to dial that compressor in a way that is going to be a lot more useful for whatever situation we are using at that moment in time. So a similar thing can be done also utilizing any of the blocks that are now sidechain compatible. The sky's really the limit, and we can really use our creative imagination to come up with new and interesting sounds based off of this great new feature that we got in the latest Quad Cortex update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that was helpful. I hope it at least sparks some ideas for you to try out with this new feature that we have received. I'm going to leave you with the demo video for my REVV Double Cream collection that is available at the link below at my website. If you're so inclined and want to grab that, I hope you enjoy the tones. You can do so. And again, give me a follow over on Cortex Cloud at jsadites. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Ciao for now.